Hi, everyone. Welcome to the CMI B2B Research Roundtable. We are here with four of the top thought leaders in the space. We are here with Ardath Albee, Carla Johnson, Nick Panayi, and Gary Van Prooyen, and we're going to tackle some of the hardest issues from the CMI research. So let's dive in. One of the biggest challenges marketers face, and this is the idea of how do you measure, how can you really understand, is my content marketing strategy working? And what's really happening at the detailed measurements? Now, what's amazing from this report is only 21% consider themselves to be successful at tracking the ROI on their content marketing. And this was actually the single fastest growing pain point for content marketers in this research.
You know, we've thought about this problem many times actually at CSC, and we've tried to solve it in modules, in pieces, right? The first part is being able to measure everything that you need to measure. You know, a few years ago, we simply didn't have the luxury of having these digital footprints of everything that's done out there, right? I mean, the whole concept of the buyer's behavior turning digital has done us a big favor. And that basically means, unless I had a GPS implanted in my customer a few years ago, I couldn't have had the same information that I have now. So I have more information than I need, frankly. So we were able to at least solve that challenge. You say, let's go track everything that we can track, elevate it up to a certain number of KPIs, and make it available to everybody in marketing. So we put a dashboard together, and all of that is good. The challenge that we have, I think, is not answering ROI from a very tactical standpoint. I can answer ROI in terms of, you know, cost per lead and actual ROI, dollars, you know, 1,000 ROI, and everybody rolls their eyes, of course, if we say 1,000 of, you know, 1,500 ROI or whatever it is. It's interesting, it's not sufficient. I think ROI from a business standpoint basically says, did you move the needle? Did you move the business forward based on what you as a marketing organization have committed to do? Right? That is more challenging because that's business cadence challenge. That's all about ensuring that there is a global marketing function with roles and responsibilities and objectives and KPIs that ladder down then to all of your dashboards and metrics and everything else. So we study dashboards all day long because we love this stuff. We're, you know, we're gearheads. You know, I start my day with all these metrics and all these stats. But from a business standpoint, it needs to ladder up then to what the company expects marketing to deliver from an ROI standpoint, not at the tactical level.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Nick, because I think as marketers, it's easy to measure certain things, so that's what we measure. But you have to look at really what is it that we're trying to say and move the needle, like you said, and pay attention to those
But
kind of things.
I think you have to, sorry, Gary, I think you have to define what move the needle means.
Right.
So, for example, at the end of the day, it's about revenues, or it's about new customer acquisition, or it's about whatever that business goal is.
Yeah.
But marketing by itself does not achieve those things. So marketing plays a particular role. So which levers is it that your marketing programs are pulling
Moves
that
forward.
then enable sales or whoever else plays a role in that to complete the achievement of that KPI of growing revenues or whatever? So how do you measure that incrementally and connect the dots so that it's more of a collaborative metric?
And I think one of the reasons that probably prevents a lot of companies from saying we're successful is looking at those different levels of metrics also oftentimes means going to different technology and tools. Someone I heard said, if you can't create a monthly or weekly dashboard that conveys what's happening with infographics that are repeatable, you know, week over week, the bar chart fills, it detracts, you've probably failed. And I think some companies struggle with that too. I mean, we have reporting coming out of our ears, but to be able to connect all those things into one cohesive kind of what's it doing for the again, the business metrics, it's hard. It really is.
I think you're spot on. One thing I would add to that is we treat our analytics almost like a newspaper with the front page. Okay, the front page is basically the answers that the executives would need to know right away. More has been done for that relationship between sales and marketing ever since we put together a dashboard that is a single version of the truth that everyone can look at. There's no questioning the data. It's linking up marketing land to sales land, and there's no question about that. Then the discussion becomes, how can we get more effective versus, hey, you're not doing anything with the leads, and sales is saying, you're giving me crappy leads. One thing I would say is, if you ask the question, what piece of content is more successful, more effective, it's almost like saying, hey, in the conversation we just had, which word that I said,
Had the most impact.
it really got, which word got the message across? Well, at the end of the day, look, it's a conversation. It's more organic than that. And oh, by the way, we all know, the funnel is no longer a funnel. I call it a pinball machine. I mean, it's the leads go all over the place. They stop, they pause, they speed up. Content is just part of the conversation. And again, you got to look at it in terms of the more holistic way of your engaging your marketing activities is, has this relationship paid off? Has this prospect or customer been more engaged with us since we began the conversation? Then you can say, by the way, I could tell you what content is more successful if you tell me what success means in this particular case. Is it the number of times that they read it? Sometimes the number of times is a bad thing. That means maybe you're not getting your message across. So it just depends on your variable.